Welcome to another video from Between CAD Classes. Today we're doing another Autodesk Inventor part tutorial. Here you can see the part that we're going to create. Before we jump into Inventor, let's take a look at the workflow we're going to go through here. First, I am going to begin by creating the rectangular extrusion that you can see here. Then I'm going to add the rounded corner. Next, I will add the half circle extruded feature on the front of the part here. Then we'll add the hole. Then we'll come down to the bottom and add the rectangular extrusion, and then finally we will chamfer the back corner to get the angled edge. Let's go ahead and jump into Inventor. Since this is a metric part, I'm going to go ahead and go to New and make sure I choose my standard millimeter part template. Next, I'm going to create the base L-shape extrusion. So taking a look at the detailed drawing here, we can see that this shape is 50 millimeters tall. It is 38 millimeters wide. The front portion of this is 19 millimeters tall. And then we can see that the curve is a radius of 22. So since it is tangent to this vertical surface, that means the feature itself is 22 millimeters wide. So I'll create the L shape and then I will extrude at the depth of 68 millimeters that we see here in the front view. So back in Inventor, I'm going to start my 2D sketch, and I'm going to sketch on the side plane here, the YZ plane. Then I will begin sketching my shape. So I'll begin by starting at my origin point here, and you can certainly draw accurately to begin with. I personally prefer to just kind of draw in the neighborhood and then come back with my dimensional constraints here. So I'll create my backwards L shape here. Then I'll come in with my linear dimension and add the 50 dimension here. Then I will add the 38 dimension here. This portion was going to be 19 millimeters tall, and this portion was 22 millimeters wide to match that curve. Then I'll go ahead and finish. I'll go ahead and begin my extrude command, and as you can see, the part is coming forward. I want to actually switch this to symmetric so that it goes the same distance each direction. That will allow my origin plane or datum plane to stay in the middle of the part. I'll go ahead and enter in my extrusion distance of 68 millimeters, then click OK. That gives me my first feature. Next, I'm going to add the fillet in here. I certainly could have filleted that in the sketch mode, but I think doing it as its own feature gives me more flexibility for modifying it or even deleting it if I want. So I'll start the fillet command and select the edge here. Then I will simply put in my fillet distance of 22, then click OK. Next, I'm going to add the half circle feature here on the front of the part. So consulting the detailed drawing again, we can see that this shape has a radius of 18 or a diameter of 36. We can see that the hole inside of it goes back a depth of 16, but the feature itself actually needs to go back further into the part. So let's take a look at that here in Inventor. I'll begin my next 2D sketch and I'll select this front surface of the part. I want to snap to the midpoint here, so I'm going to project geometry of this edge. Now I can start my circle command and snap to the midpoint. And once again, it was a radius of 18, or in this case, a diameter of 36. Now I could go ahead and trim out the bottom half, but it's not really necessary. So I'll go ahead and finish my sketch, then extrude the shape. So I'll select the top portion of the shape here. I no longer want it to be symmetrical, so I'll go one direction or the other. I'll flip it this way. If I did put it in at 16 millimeters, you can see that I will end up with a gap here. So what I want it to do is to go into the part. So I'm going to choose this option here, to next, and it will just extrude until it hits the next surface in each case. I'll go ahead and click OK, and my next feature is done. Next, we'll add the hole in. I'm going to use the concentric function of the hole command, so I'll begin by selecting the hole command. Then I will click two things. First, the surface that the hole is going to go on, then a feature that it's going to be concentric to, in this case, this curve. Next, I will adjust my termination. So instead of going all the way through the part, I want to go a specified distance. If necessary, you might need to remove the drill point so that you get a flat edge here. Then I'll adjust my values. So the depth is going to be 16 and the diameter is going to be 14. I'll go ahead and click OK, and now we can see the whole feature. Next, I'm going to add in the rectangular feature on the bottom of the part. So I'll create another sketch on the front of the part here. I'll take a look at my detailed drawing, and we can see that this rectangular feature is 22 millimeters in from each side. I can see in the side view that it is 12 millimeters tall, and the entire depth of the feature is going to be 95 millimeters. So back in Inventor, I'm going to project the geometry of this bottom edge so that I can constrain to it. I'll go ahead and begin my rectangle command, and I want to constrain it to this line but not on the midpoint, so I will just click somewhere on the line here, and then I'll click a second point. Then I'll add in a couple of dimensions here. Once again, we know the height of this feature is going to be 12 millimeters, and we know that it's in 22 from each side, so I'll go ahead and add those dimensions as well. I can see it all turns black and it's fully constrained, so I can go ahead and finish my sketch. Then extrude. Looks like I'm going to have to flip my direction, and our full length was 95 millimeters on this one. Finally, I'm going to add the chamfer in on this back feature. So I'll start the chamfer command. I'm going to choose two different distances, and those distances, as we take a look at our detailed drawing here, are going to be 6 millimeters by 12 millimeters. So I'll enter in 6 for my first distance and then 12 for my second. And then I will select the edge I want to apply it to. If it's not doing it in the correct direction, then I will choose the flip button here. Then I can click OK. And there we can see our final part. I hope you found that useful. Please like and subscribe. I will be adding additional Autodesk Inventor tutorials. If you have a specific part you'd like to see me do, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching.